Hello! Welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida, and today, friends, let's talk about aha moments. Do you have them? Is that something you're familiar with? I am the queen of the aha moment. Like, I go through my life and I will be emotionally processing something, moving through it. And then all of a sudden there'll be some sort of like divine clarity will come through, or like a friend will say something to me, or just I'll see something, I'll get a sign, I will hear something from clear audience, and it's like I will have this aha mother freaking moment where I'm just like, oh, and then I will have a physical shift in my body, and then I have to tell you that it is often hard for me to remember the before the aha. I'm wondering, does that resonate with you at all? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Are you one of these people? So I know we've talked about human design before and holding it lightly, especially because of my whole experience living as a projector and then being way more attuned to the Vedic astrology, the cosmic human design, and realizing that I'm a manifesting generator, like that applies. I have been looking a little bit more into that chart, and in doing so, I have the gate 47, which is the aha moment master. It's really about just having these incredible moments of insight, realization, clarity, the oh. And then for me, something really clicks inside of me where I actually shift into something else. To the point where something that I love having is journals, this podcast, a record, my Instagram page, a record of where I was and like a timeline of the person that I am becoming, because it shifts so much. I honestly can't remember who I was. And being sort of a master of the aha moment is all about trusting in divine timing, trusting your insights and like clarity, but those big things that come in that, oh. Yeah, so I'm just wondering, does that resonate at all with you? Is that something that you've experienced? I don't really have like a number of like, oh, this happens to me X amount of times a week or whatever. It's not like that. Often it will be, I will have really big periods of time where a lot of shifts take place. Like perhaps thinking back through this year, I had a lot of shifting and aha moments in July when I was house sitting down in Los Gatos, a lot. And then when I came back in August, some more aha moments, and then some putting into action the shifts that had taken place. In July, I shifted into those new ways of being. I took informed, aligned action steps from the aha moments in July, in the beginning of August. Same with my new website that I built. Like the old website went away. I took the time necessary to move through, feeling through all of the different ways that could arrive. And then some different synchronicities took place in which the universe aligned for me to sit my butt down due to an exposure to COVID, not be doing the fun thing that I thought I was going to be doing. And I built my entire website. I don't remember, but I think it was in about 48 hours. Really got the basic framework of all of that together and able to be published. And of course, I've been refining since then, but that major aha came from, and my ability to do it, a whole bunch of stuff that had pre-aligned ahead of time when the time was right, aha, and then the action steps are taken in the next thing. So I had, from the podcast that was released on Monday, I know I was going into a whole bunch of the stuff that I was going through, and that episode is called Effing Life in the Human Soup. Because holy cow, I just spent a lot of time in the human soup, and now I can't even remember like how many days it was, but at least 4, 5, 6 days in the human soup. Now, the planets are doing what the planets are doing, and there's a lot of stuff. I know we've entered into Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. It's my birthday time, so we're in Scorpio right now, Scorpio season. We're on that cusp of Sagittarius season. Both of those things, I have the Scorpio and I have the Sagittarius, so they're very like up. That is my sun and rising. And like all of the things, the fall of the patriarchy, where the world is right now. The learning, the ability to hold compassion and see, to not look away from what is life in this moment, and be standing up and taking the aligned action steps when necessary to help our communities and to stand up and be in righteous anger where necessary, but also with that guiding light of inner groundedness and inner strength and inner channel open, communicating with higher self, communicating with God consciousness. Like all of it is happening all at once. And I have to tell you that from the podcast that was released Monday, at that time when I was in the thick of it, I could not see through the clouds. And I was so lucky. I often turn to my sister. She's a rock in my world, and she was generous enough to spend some time on the phone with me, just reminding me and helping me remember the frequency that I hold, because sometimes I get really mired or I forget. It's almost like I move into, like I get tricked into sticking in the 3D, and I'll get really locked into, this has to be like this has to be like this has to be like this, it has to be the way that I come up with it or think that it's going to be, and like that's not who I am. That's not my prayer of the universe working through me in a way that delights my mind, body, and spirit. It's the exact opposite of everything that I'm teaching, is to get wrapped up in that. I think that's something as a teacher that is so true, is like we are teaching what we need to learn. Like, I spent the 2 years pretty diligently and in the thick of doing my reparenting therapy and my parts work and working with my inner child and integrating all of those different shattered aspects. And I was so in that. And then I was so in the self-love, but like in a way that almost like I wrote a book about self-love. I wrote a book about reparenting therapy and parts work, because it's a way for me almost like, and I did these things in order for me to sort of like be culminating or culling together and helping me to even understand the story of what I've been going through. Because again, I make these aha shifts and I can't remember where I came from. But something really interesting with the self-love book is it's like it is a daily practice that I'm still reminding myself every day to be practicing the self-love. It's not like a one and done. It's like every day I have to remind myself to be compassionate. And this thread that runs through me, this diligent dedication, this like just absolute like dogged determination, that personality aspect, that trait to just chill out, to stop it. A huge aspect of who I am is like this really bubbly fairy energy. I am a lot of fairy energy. I definitely have an elemental guide. And I work with the land, I am with the trees. Like this aspect of me, this joy, this inner radiating, nature driven joy, this fairy like, sweet, trickstery, fun, playful energy is a really big part of who I am. There are times of year, I've noticed, at the seasons, where that is expansive and easy for me to access, and it is right there on the tip of my tongue, especially in those summer months. That is right there with me, right there. And what I'm really noticing with my sensitivity and as I go through the year is that isn't as accessible to me right on the tip of my tongue as we move into these fall months, as we move into this sort of like the retrograde, the pulling in, the going within. And how can I honor myself through the moving through of the aha moments, but how can I honor myself along the way, knowing that in the right divine timing, these things will come. I will get the knowing when the time is right. And patience. Oh God, please, can we please be patient? My grandmother, on my mother's side, she had the patience of a saint. And, God, she, out of the grandparents, I'm going to, all of a sudden, I'm immediately choked up. Out of the grandparents, she's the grandparent that I was the most close to. And, oh my God, just all of a sudden I'm welling up and I really feel, I'm just feeling so much love inside of me. So I have her, she's visiting. I can feel her inside of me. And it's just this, there's just so much love. I feel so much incredible love welling through every ounce of my body. So thank you, Grammy, for being with me at this moment. But just remembering her. And she had patience. She was a special needs school teacher, and she, my grandfather was ill often, and she was the financial, she was the breadwinner. He would have gigs here and there and do things to help make ends meet, but she was the backbone. And even the home that they lived in and whatnot, that came from her hella strong mother. Through the Depression that ran this huge house that was a boarding house for college women. Like, that is a lineage, a line of women that held strong. So, like, I come from a really strong female lineage on my mother's side. Powerful, strong women, but they always led from behind men, because that was the way that it would be. It's always in that position of being behind or leading through a man, which is so interesting because, again, that's one of the things that I've had to work with within myself, of like bringing this sacred union together within me, and not that codependent, manipulative, leading from behind, curating situations to make me be safe, or like leading through. Like, it's a lot for me to be able to move all of that out of the way, or continue to, when I see it, move it, and then step into my power in a way where I'm even able to have this conversation with you. Because this is fairly recent. Like, I push myself go hard. And again, we're doing these aha moments. So I aha, and then I shift, and I forget where I came from. And holy cazoli, not even a full year ago, I was teaching myself to just begin to do public speaking. And I told myself that I would make 100 podcast episodes, and that would help me with my public speaking. It would help me putting myself out there. I really wanted to practice being vulnerable within community, or being vulnerable, say, publicly or something. And that is what I'm learning to do. I am practicing that with you right now as this is coming in your ear holes. Taking a breath. the practice, the learning how to speak extemporaneously. All of this is like the unfolding, the becoming, the steps, walking one step, the next step, all these aligned action steps in a row. Sorry, that was my, I have a meeting in 30 minutes with a lovely human to talk about podcasting. Where were we? Also, I hope I'm like recording this and in the background, the blower boys are out there like blowing leaves around and collecting leaves and stuff in the community. And I hope that's not too super duper annoying in the background. Oh boy, as I get sidetracked off of my aha moment conversation. We teach what we need to know. We teach what we need to learn. We teach what we need to learn. I am working on my self-love, self-compassion, joy, peace, inner peace, all these sort of things. And one of the aha moments I had within this last period of time here, post-recording the Monday podcast, was like how I grip healing by the neck. I grip it by the neck. It's like I had this sort of visual of myself choking myself, like, erase this, get it out of you, heal, root and branch, this sort of like energy, this Kali Ma, angry, and then I'm like, whoa, that kind of diligence, anger, dedication, I must remove this, I will remove this, that kind of warrior was super helpful, especially in the beginning, because you need dedication and determination to do this. Yes. And the aha, I have arrived at a point in my healing journey when, for God's sake, could you please be fucking compassionate with yourself? Congratulate yourself for the amount of shit that you fucking have done. Like, holy shit, I used to want to die, and I am easily the happiest I've ever been. I love my life. I have a beautiful existence. I have unbelievable, beautiful friendships, incredible connections with some of the people in the healing community. Just, I cannot begin to tell you how rich I am in the real meaning of life, rich in fully embodied being here, grounded into the earth, working with nature, loving myself. God, I used to loathe my body. I love my body. Every inch of it, every drop of cellulite and squeezy soft part, and how it's aging during this perimenopausal period. I have a soft belly, loving my belly, loving my body, loving everything, loving the silver that's coming into my hair, loving the changing hormones that are creating. Right now I've got some pimples on my neck. That's new, and it's probably hormones. And just accepting and allowing and being amazed by this gift of life. It's beautiful. It's incredible. It's amazing. Aha. What if I am whole, perfect, and complete already, right now? What if I'm healed enough? God, I'm healed enough to teach. I'm healed enough to hold this frequency. There's something in me, that self-worth and thing that I'm like, and this is where I'm seeing myself gripping myself around the neck. It's like, aha, I see it. Let it go. Free to let it go. Stop it. There isn't a pinnacle of healing, a pinnacle of health. It looks this way, with this amount of money in the bank, and your waist size is this, and all of these like external weird things. Like, one of the things that I wanted to work on in 2025 was working on my intimacy and openness with my husband, because as I've gone through opening up my spiritual gifts and doing this work, I wanted to choose to stay together, because I am not the lady he married. Trust me. Oof, not even close. there was a level of me I wanted and needed to start to be really open and honest with him about what I'm going through, about working with angels, about this is the energy of the universe I'm bringing through, like all of that. And like, he is a steadfast man of science and very logical and often the smartest person in the room. Like, he is a thinky thoughts dude. And what I do and go through, and he also has like a trauma bond with God. So like, he has that, doesn't like religious stuff or anything. I'm not doing anything religious, but anything even in the spirituality realm is like a red flag for him. So I hid the awakenings that I've had over the years, and I was hiding all of that stuff, and it became not possible for me to do that anymore. And this year I was like, I'm going to get real honest with him, and had to get to the point where like, if this marriage changes or shifts or, I had to get okay with that to get honest. And, over the course of this year, the two of us have had nothing but, it's a miracle, like closer and closer and closer connection, because it's something I'm actively pursuing. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Over the weekend, we had this incredible, beautiful day together yesterday. And we had this beautiful hike in the woods, and just being able to vulnerably and openly share with him just exactly what I'm going through, and to have him listen, and then, not need to fix me with his response, but just to listen, and then to reflect back and just continue to share and reinforce the love and honoring that we have for one another, and just allowing myself then to receive that, to fully hear it. Because also there's been times when I couldn't fully hear or absorb what was coming from him. So like, working on that through this year, what a miracle. So like, my old teacher, Rennie, she used to say, we start teaching before we're ready to come into stuff and learn and all of that. And I have to absolutely agree with that. I started before I was ready, and in doing so, I have learned so much. I leapt off the hill, and I've learned along the way. And I think that's something to continue to be vulnerable about, is sharing with you in a way where it's like leaving up the messy beginnings. At least I feel that way at this point, because I think there's teaching in that, because we all have to start somewhere. It's just about starting, and it's not about perfection from the top. It's about being compassionate to ourselves along the way as we learn and grow and change, and allowing ourselves to learn and grow and change. So I've had a lot of aha moments. Do you have gate 47 in your human design chart? Or maybe it's part of one of your channels. Anyway, do you have 47? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is this part of your life? But yeah, I have a lot of aha moments. And some of those things that I was upset about when I was being really vulnerable on Monday's podcast have moved through and shifted me so much so that I can't even feel them in my body anymore. Like, I can't even find them. So that's just really interesting. The aha, and the shift. The aha and the shift. And again, just like really leaning into and learning to trust the divine timing. Gate 47, man. La-di-dee, la-di-da. All right, friends. That's good for time. I wanted to tell you that I love you. Thank you for hanging out. If this is interesting to you and you want to comment, you want to tell me if you have gate 47, I'm very interested in hearing from you and hearing your experience. I am seeking engagement. So if you want to like, you want to comment, you want to subscribe, you want to hit the little bell to stay connected via YouTube, or to follow me on whatever podcast catcher you're having, you subscribe to, it would be greatly appreciated. Looking to increase those numbers and find my people. Very open to growth. Yeah, which is a beautiful thing to share also, because we're not ready until we're ready, right? And I am ready for growth. Friends, I wanted to tell you that I love you. God, Universe, Source loves you. Be kind to yourself, please. We're all in this together. It's messy, and messy's okay.